had excellent artists who've recorded at your studio. I know Pete Townsend recorded a thing that was for a charity, right? Direct to vinyl.
And and part of his own album. Yep.
Yeah. Who else are some notables?
Eric Burden from the Animals did an EP with Greenhorns backing him up, and half the Greenhorns are the Raconteurs, so it gets into this whole like really cool project.
Oh, that's neat.
Lady Antebellum recorded there. I mean, it's a long list, and I'm bad about my resume, the studio's resume.
I didn't know Lady A did. That's cool. Yeah, you guys mastered vinyl for Meghan Trainor.
Oh yeah, Meghan Trainor. Oh yeah, we've done. I mean,
didn't y'all do?
Yeah, the vinyl mastering credits are sick. I mean,
that won a Grammy, right?
I think so. Yeah, and I almost said a couple of things some things we did last week. Vinyl is weird. You can't really.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I can talk about, what I can't talk about, because everyone has different release dates and different stuff. So
don't do that.
Really cool records.
You guys did do the vinyl plating for the Jungle Room with Elvis, right? That's been out.
Yep, totally. Yeah, it's been out. Yep.
That's really cool. And you guys did Jason Isbell's their record store day release of that direct to vinyl. That was cool.
Yeah, we did the direct to vinyl too at the studio. Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So
I'm friends with those guys, and that was fun being there for that. I went to Record Store Day here in town in the Shoals and was gonna try and pick up a copy of it to get the official release, but I didn't get there in time, so it sold out.
Yeah, you can't get them.
Yeah, it sold out. Then it ended up on eBay, and I'm like, oh well. But I've got the other one. So you guys do the direct to vinyl disc recording, and that's a really freaking cool thing to witness. I mean, I think every audio geek should definitely see that. And I think every musician should see that go down. Because, man, that's courage. You got to have your song right, man. You got to be talented, and you got to have it right. Or you've got to be okay with mistakes. I mean, it's just you got to one of the two. And do
it again. Yeah.
Or do it again. Yeah. And it's a performance. It's legit a performance. And, that's really cool. So, what got you guys into that? I mean, because that's really niche. I mean, that's the way it used to be done, but to do it now in 2019, that's how long have you guys been doing direct to vinyl?
Well, we got the lathe about 6 years ago. It's a Neumann DMS 70, so it's top of the line.
Yeah, that thing's beautiful.
Mastering lathe. And the guy that restored it, Chris Muth, we were tweaking on it and listening to some cuts we did. And I was like, man, it sounds really good. And he goes, yeah. He said, you got to hear it. You got to hear it live to vinyl time. He said, you need to do it. You're in the studio. You should just do it. It'll blow your mind how good it sounds. I'm like, all right. So the next week I just called a friend. I said, hey man, you want to come over and just like play acoustic guitar, vocal? I want to do like a direct to disc, just hear it, just for fun. And it was stunning because
it is.
It's air hits a microphone turns that into electricity. That goes to the console, blah, 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 compressor, whatever, right down to the lathe, and then the cutter head turns it from electricity into a groove in real time. So there's no conversions, there's no conversion to analog tape even, none of that. It's just the purest form of recording. So once I heard that, I was kind of hooked. And then we started doing full bands, doing a whole record like that, and the process is so much fun,
It is a fun thing to witness. It is so cool to see happening, especially at your 10th anniversary party. Didn't you guys do a thing first? I mean, were y'all not the first people to do like a 10 back to back like that?
I believe we were. Yeah, if we weren't, I haven't heard anyone say they are. Yeah, we did 10 bands live, like back to back, no stop. Well, 5 and 5, 5 on side A, 5 on side B, no stop in between the bands. Because that's the thing with direct disc is once the cutter head is down on the vinyl, it doesn't stop.
Yeah, the only thing you have is either the crossfade or the pause between songs, and that's it.
Yeah,
and that was so cool to see that happen.
Yeah, but then like the person buys the record, and somebody who bought one of the direct discs we did told me this. He said it's so fun to drop that needle and be with the band for 20 minutes.
Amen. That's the best description I've heard about that.
I never thought of it like that before, where you buy a vinyl record or listen to Spotify, and that project may have been recorded over 2 years in 15 different studios and remixed. There's no space and time locked into it.
Yeah, but that I think's what drew me to the whole idea of music in general in the first place, was listening to music. And it's like, I feel like Led Zeppelin or Pearl Jam or whoever, classic, the Beatles, you feel like you're in the room with them. And it's like,
yeah, totally.
It's like I'm pulled into this experience that my assumption of the way that they did it may be totally wrong, but that's my truth and my experience that's personal to me. And I think a lot of that's kind of lost in, especially the streaming type thing. Yeah, that's a really good way to describe it, because you have this feeling. I think that's vinyl in general, but especially direct to vinyl. You feel like you're with them.
Yeah, and the sound is amazing. A lot of people kind of have a mental image of like that little record in a booth thing is live to vinyl. It's not. This is... No, it's definitely... I'm just going to say this and people can say what they want. It's the highest fidelity recording possible. It really is.
I mean, the fact that, like, in terms of analog, like a human voice or any actual mechanical instrument like a guitar or a piano, if you've got to put a mic in front of it or plug it in, you've got to have a conversion in some way. If you have no conversion whatsoever, other than there's something cutting something and it went through some electrical current, other than sitting there listening to someone perform their song, that's as pure as it gets. I mean,
and that's the technical side. So on the creative side, the band is like, okay, this is live to vinyl. By the time I hear the note come out of my head, it's on a groove. I'm bringing my A game.
Yeah, that to me is more important. I think the mindset of bringing your A game and it's go time, you can feel it. It's very palpable. You cannot manufacture that. There's no EQ or no adjustment piece of gear that says passion on it, that you can't manufacture that.
No, that excitement. No, and we used to do a little huddle before I directed this, especially at the summit when there's 80 people in the control room watching, and I say, look, we're all going to screw up. I'm going to screw up. Everyone's going to screw up once or twice in this process. I'm going to choose how I want to screw up. I'm going to screw up going for something.
Yeah.
I may grab a fader and crank a guitar up thinking it's the guitar solo and let it ride for a bar or two and bring it back down, then miss the first couple bars of guitar solo.
That's bold too, man. And that I think is beautiful, because if you're going for something, you might not do that. If you've got one chance to go for it, you either go for it or you miss it. That's the only two options you have. And it's not like I can go in and clip gain it up. I can't go back and turn it up. It is what it is. And
I'd rather hear someone sing a little sharp than flat.
Exactly.
You know what I
mean? Exactly.
So,
well, too, I mean, the cool thing about it is you're going for it. I mean, it's that simple. And to me, if I'm the performer and I know my engineer is going for it and going to be bold, that means, well, if that guy's going to go for it, I'm going to go for it. And if you've got a band, if the bass player is going to go for it, well, the drummer's going to go for it.
Exactly.
Everybody is pushing each other to be better, which is what that's what a band is. That's what music is.
Yeah, it's all the energy of a great live show with all the sounds of a studio record that you can play over and over again. So it's the best. Yeah, and I want to do. If I did those every day, I would be like happiest man on earth. Because at the end of the day, you have a cocktail or something. You're like, man, I did a record today. I'm not lazy, but there's no comping, there's no tweaks. I'm not going to get an email tomorrow about maybe this should be a half TV down. We did it. It's awesome. Or it's not. We need to redo it. That's kind of it's analog, but it's binary.
Yeah, and so. I think that you kind of hit on something that I really had never thought of. It's like that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be all these 0.5 of a dB on a tambourine. I'm sorry. I mean, your focus is not on the song at that point. And a lot of times, the more you do and the more you add, the smaller everything sounds. It's cool that we can add as many tracks as we want to, but have you ever gotten like 5 kick drums or something on a mix and like, could y'all not choose one? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, totally. And, I'm fine with all that. That's part of that process. And I think that's why I like the direct to disc, because it doesn't have that. So I get both sides of the coin.
Yeah. And it's okay. It's just like, could y'all not have made a decision here? So it's so the production decision ends up being left sometimes to the mix engineer, and that's fine. That's just how it is. But yeah, there's something so beautiful that when you do it and you go home and it's done. And it's like, that was cool. That was fun. We all had fun. We did something great today. Cool. High five. So
I'm trying to get the word out to artists more, because people don't know what direct to vinyl is. They don't really understand it, so they're not calling us looking for it, right? So I think in a perfect world, I would be able to let artists know about it, because it's a great way to make a record on the cheap, if you want to say that. You don't even have to press vinyl. We could do it a different way and not press vinyl.
Well, if you've got your songs rehearsed, you're not spending a bunch of time in the studio either.
Yeah, I mean, think about coming in for a weekend even, right? Working on, do it 3 or 4 times and pick the best sides, right? That doesn't even equate to doing a regular, like tracking and overdubbing all in one day and mixing all in the next day. No one wants to do that. It's going to sound like, dog shit.
Exactly.
But if you do it like this, it's almost the same money, maybe a little bit more, but it's infinitely better. And it has a story to it.
Yeah, it does. And people tend to buy a story. I mean, they like stories. It's cool. I mean, it's cool for yourself. Like, hey, we did this thing. And I mean, too, do you feel like people are a little more picky and selective with their songs? Like they pick the better songs?
Well, yeah, I recommend, in this instance, 4 songs aside, but 8 songs. So yeah, you're gonna peel off 4 songs and the better song wins.
Right. Well, the thing is, too, I mean, I guess what I'm saying about that is it's like especially with digital, even with tape. Yeah, let's record 15 songs and we're going to pick 8 for a record. And that's cool, but what your songs are. Yeah. I mean, sometimes creative things happen in the studio and you're like, wow, that song's better than I thought it was. Or once you get to recording something, you're like, that didn't translate like I thought it would. That wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. But if you've got strong songs and you're objective with yourself, you know what's good and what's not that you have on the table. And I think it forces a conversation with yourself and with your band or whoever before you ever show up to the studio. It's like, we know what we're going to do and we're going to do it, as opposed to, well, what do y'all want to do today? I mean, some people kind of come to the studio like that, and that's fine, but it's definitely really cool when the guys show up, they're ready to go. I mean, they've been playing these songs out. They know what the crowd likes. They've been rehearsing them. They've got their crap together. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day that he was saying they're in a local band and they can't keep 45s, and they sell them where they can't hardly give CDs away. And they're selling 45s to people that don't even have record players, because they're selling a digital download with the 45, and they're getting something tangible with liner notes or a track listing, and it's just cool and nostalgic to them. It's something tangible, but they don't even have a way to play it.
Well, they'll get one. You get enough free records, you go buy a turntable.
Yeah.
And you go start buying more records. It's great.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of cool because, I mean, it sounds a little odd to me, but I guess it makes sense. So recording to tape, I mean, obviously we love that, right? I mean, what is your philosophy on that kind of stuff? I mean, you've talked about how it has more uses other than recording itself, but you guys primarily record to tape, right?
Yeah, I like to phrase it as we unplug our tape machine and plug Pro Tools in. So that's kind of how I look at it. So the tape machine, it's not in the closet somewhere, right?
Man, that is so sad. You go in these really nice studios and it's like, how long has it been since you used your tape machine? I think we used it last year one time, you know, and it's like, oh my God, you've got like this really nice Studer, or something. Yeah, but it's not being used.
Yeah, so the studio itself, it's half and half, right? As far as tracking a Pro Tools, tracking a tape, whatever. If I'm involved as an engineer, it's probably 90% tracking the tape. And that's because I'm having conversations with the artist and saying, hey, is this something you're into doing? I feel it's faster. I feel it's better. I feel we listen to things and fix as we move along. And in that process, it may feel slower. Like in that moment, it may feel like it takes longer. But at the end of the day, our checklist is a lot smaller,
Yeah.
And I've mixed enough records that other people recorded where the guitar tones don't match, the vocal tones don't match because they rush through and just did everything, and then went back and did editing or some punches, and it just doesn't match up.
Right.
And you can, and let me just qualify this: you can record efficiently or inefficiently, regardless of the media. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You can do 50 takes on tape. You can blow a budget. You can make a shitty record on tape or Pro Tools. You can make a great record. It doesn't matter. But human tendencies, you tend to use the tools you have in all the ways you can, right?
Right.
So analog tape, when you're tracking to 24 tracks or whatever, it kind of gives you some lines in the road, if you will, to follow. So you feel like you know where you're supposed to be, and you get where you're going faster.
That's a really good point.
Case in point, last week, tracking a band, track a song. I could come up, those do it. That's the take. We do a drum punch on, coming out of the bridge. Fix the drums, just played them, punched them in, punched them out, a couple bass fixes here and there. And then they're like, should we do another one for safety? And I was like, why? I mean, like what? Why would we take that time and energy, more importantly, energy and calories and record it to never use it?
That's a really, 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 really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I've never thought of it in those terms before. But yeah, why would you use that energy to do something you are pretty certain that you're not going to do anything with, and you like what you have? If you like what you have, why would you do something else? I guess the question is, are you that insecure about what you just did? And if so, why? Man, Chris Mara had some nuggets of knowledge in this episode for sure. Be sure to check out episode 3 when it drops. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Leave us some ratings and reviews if you haven't had a chance. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you around at the next episode.